Welcome, YouTube. We are here for the fifth Instagram Q&A. I'm going to go and punch up my Instagram. So we'll go dual live, double dragon, and we'll get to these questions. So give me 1 second. We are just waiting. We are waiting. We are waiting. I hope you all are doing very well. All right. All right. We're now live on Instagram and we're live here. Just going to give that one a second so people can come into the live. And we're going to get to these questions. The Shim News Network. People, welcome. We are here. We are here for the live. I know it's been a couple of days. Your boy had to go and age up a year or so because it was my birthday. And I am here with your questions. I have all of your questions that I have gathered from my Instagram Q&As. And we're going to get in here. We're going to see if we can help you grow some muscles and put some smiles on your faces. And of course, if you have any questions here in chat or here in chat, all you got to do is ask them. And so long as they're good questions, I'm going to answer them. Someone said, how are you? Man, I'm good. I'm real good. I'm good. It's a good day. I'm feeling good. I am here. Yes, you're damn right I printed them out, okay? Mans is professional. Check the statistics. No, I had to because I am also live right now on YouTube. So I couldn't be live on my phone and live on my computer and not have another thing. So I had to print them out. That's why I said you're at my news station. We're given the weather, okay? And it's a sunny day. Okay, let's get to these questions. Lock in. James_MCK08. Is it a myth that certain rep ranges are better for growing certain muscles? I wouldn't say that it is a myth. I think that there is absolutely something to exercise concordance with rep ranges. There are certain exercises that are better in certain rep ranges than others. And we all intuitively know that, but I guess it's just nice to hear it out loud. Easy examples that come to mind. You're not going to be doing barbell curls for sets of 5 to 8. You're not going to be doing high bar squatting, generally, if you're smart, for sets of 15 to 20. So there are certain rep ranges that make more sense for certain muscle groups and for certain exercises. As in, for most people, the hamstrings and the chest are pretty fast twitch and seem to benefit from lower and moderate rep ranges, whereas muscle group like medial, lateral delts, rear delts, calves seem to benefit from moderate, higher, and really high rep ranges. So maybe something like 15 or more on the first set. So it's not a myth. It's just more so of what makes the most sense and also what you feel the best, where you get the most mind-muscle connection. I like this. I like a good different screens with you. It's good. Shashank_Suvarna, always active. Is it absolutely necessary to follow a workout program? I think somebody asked me this in a previous Q&A. Is it necessary? It really depends on how serious you want to take this whole experience. If you want to get the most out of your fitness experience, your training journey, the most out of your body to grow as much muscle as you can in the most efficient way possible, it would behoove you to have some sort of a plan to do that from a training and nutrition standpoint. And the rigidity with which you adhere to said plan will also depend on how serious you want to get to where you want to go and how fast you want to get there. Can you put on a significant amount of muscle, lose a truckload of body fat, and improve your health markers with no workout plan? Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you reach the best that you were ever going to reach in a reasonable amount of time without a workout plan, without a nutrition plan? I'm not so sure about that. So it's really how serious you want to take it and how efficient you want to be with your time. Not dissimilar to if you go to any activity, any endeavor, whether it's dancing, whether it's business building, whether it's cooking. Can you become the best chef? Can you become one of the best dancers in the room without ever having a coach? without ever taking formal lessons and just figuring it out on your own, so to speak, right? Books, articles, videos. Sure, of course you can. And you might get there, but it's going to take you significantly longer and you may not even reach your peak. If you were to hire a coach, a mentor, have a teacher, could you get there faster? No one's going to argue that. If you had a plan that was semi-intelligent, would you get there much faster and maybe even reach a higher level? No one with a brain is going to really argue that. So I think it's the same here with fitness. And I'm sure that most of you would intuit figure that out because you're smart. Get off your phone. That is a great name. Unless you're looking at my social media, then it's not. Get off your phone, except look at my Instagram and my YouTube. No shame in my game. Are you still doing these on YouTube? Because ain't nobody got time for that. I don't know what you mean by that. Ain't nobody got time for that as in you just want to watch the YouTube? Or ain't nobody got time for that as in why are you doing it on YouTube? You should just do it here. I don't know. But the answer is I'm doing both, brother. I'm doing both. I got it here. I got it there. I'm here, there. I'm everywhere. Okay. Livne Neve, how are you doing, my guy? First of all, I ain't your guy. All right. You don't know me. And I don't know you, Livne. What kind of name is that anyway? Just kidding. I'm good. Everything is lovely. Mr. Madger, who is here right now. I seen you in here. He's a friend. We engage a lot on chat. Okay. It's not weird. Okay. What would it take for you to not do 5 sets of 15 with 4-minute time under tension sets? I mean, not a lot. Some money, a good-looking female. I don't know. I don't really think it would take that much, honestly. I just seem to do it because I love it, but I don't really think it would take that much. It's not that serious for me. Igor Silva, if I'm getting an average of 14,000 steps every day, should I look into adding dedicated cardio in a cut? I don't think, Igor, you need to look into what you'll call dedicated cardio, but I do think you should strongly look into dedicated periods of time to do a significant amount of those steps. And I've talked about this before in previous podcasts or Q&As. I don't think I've done a post about it. Maybe I have. Who remembers? I've done almost 1,000 posts at this point, which is pretty cool to say, by the way. When your step count is decently low, moderate, right? 8K, 9K, 10K, whatever, you can just be a decently active person. And for people in most situations, you can get those without really thinking about it. Once your step count gets a little bit more Joe Exotic, and you have to get, let's say, over 12,000 steps a day, you can't just willy-nilly, absent-mindedly do that, right? That's not just going to happen. You have to get more intentional, or you're just going to miss those steps in the daily. Or what happens to me a lot, which sucks, and I'm sure it's happened to many of you guys too, is you'll be a little ho-hum about it. You'll think you're active and you'll get a moderate amount of steps, and then 10 p.m. will hit and you have to get like 4K or 5K. And you're like, do I really need to go out for a 2.5 mile walk right now at 10 at night, 10:30 at night? The answer is yes. Or you could just have that one day be a mulligan and then just not miss anymore. But when you have an exotically high step count, and to be honest, that's also different for different people. For me, anything above 11K, I have to get really intentional. Anything 11K and below, I can kind of just do that. I'm a decently active person. Like I go out dancing, I go out on walks anyway, just for funsies. And I live in South Florida where the weather's amazing. So I'm active. But anything above that, I do, like you're suggesting, I do have to block out periods of time during the day or in the morning or something where I say, all right, I'm going to block 5K steps right here at this time, or I'm going to do 6K here, or I know before or after my training session, I'm going to bank 20 minutes of cardio or something like that, and then go about my day. It is important. And once it's locked in your schedule, a lot of us are pretty type A. We're pretty regimented people. So like once it's in your planner, it's in your planner, right? It just becomes another part of your day. But you have to become more intentional when your step counts are higher if you want to adhere to them consistently with minimal stress. Hope that helps. Tio Kira, what is your current split? What's your thought process behind it? Thanks. So right now, I am just starting a maintenance, lower volume, easier period of training. And I will actually write a fair bit about this on my Instagram because everybody, and maybe I'll even do a YouTube video about it. Everybody wants to show their hardest weeks of training, me included. Everyone wants to show their photos when they look their best. Everyone wants to talk about, oh, I'm doing 10 sessions a week, whatever, whatever. But nobody wants to talk about what some would call the really boring stuff, like the lame stuff. But that stuff is really important, what people actually could probably benefit from. So I'm definitely going to be commenting or doing some posts about this. So right now, I have not trained for the last time I trained was Saturday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this is my 4th day in a row non-training. I'm still going to take a few more days where I'm not training at all. And it's glorious. Still keeping my step count, still eating decently well, making sure I'm getting sufficient amount of protein, fiber, fruits, veg, and then making sure I'm also having some junk food because it's good for the brain and it's good for the soul. So it's quite important. And then after this week of no training, I'm then going to take anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks, or possibly in perpetuity, depending on how life is going and how I'm feeling, 3 to 4 weeks of just easy training. So I'm going to be training 4 days a week. It's going to be an upper lower split. I'm going to be training every muscle group roughly twice a week, 3 to 5 reps in reserve. So get a little bit of pump essentially and leave. My workouts will be short. They'll be anywhere from 40 to 60 minutes. I'm going to be dropping my step count. So right now in my diet, my highest step count was 12,000. Right now, I'm going to drop it marginally to the 10 to 11K range, something like that, and bring my food to maintenance, which just means adding about 200 calories more from where I was, all pretty much in the form of carbohydrates. So it's like 50 grams of carbs more, and just living life. Just living life. And you need to do this. I actually just wrote about this on Threads. So if you don't follow me on Threads, you should. I'm very active there. Threads is a really cool platform. I just like brain dump every day, some kind of nugget. You need to take breaks in your training. And the more that you progress in your training journey, the more years of wear and tear that you accrue on your body, essentially, the more breaks you take and the harder you step on that brake pedal. Brake pedal, taking a break. Wordplay, sign me up. Hello. Yes, we're here now. So twice a year, I take anywhere from 5 to 7 days completely off training. I don't lift weights whatsoever, and I eat at theoretical maintenance. And then I also take around a month where I'm doing what I'm doing now. Instead of going to the gym 6 days a week, like I do, spending anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours per session, I go 4 days a week for 40 to 60 minutes. Instead of having some sort of modified legs push pull split, which is what I usually have, some kind of arrangement like that, I go to an upper lower. Instead of training sort of at my minimum effective volume and then getting to failure, close to failure, I pretty much keep my sets the same, and I just keep it at a moderate range, get a little pump and leave, and just enjoy life, enjoy other things. As you guys know, I love to dance, so I go out dancing more often. I train dance harder. As you know, I love to cook. So being that I'm back into maintenance, I can cook fun things, right? I can cook pizza, I can cook orange chicken. I'm not just relegated to like the ground beef and rice and chicken and fruit and whole grain bread. Like, no, I can have some fun, you know? And that's what it is. And I found that taking this break every so often, right? So for me, it's twice a year. Of course, it allows me to be that much more adherent and just, really locked in with my higher volume training and my nutritional protocols, whatever they are, whether it be massing or dieting. But it also gives me a nice mental break and gives me a lot of mental clarity too, of like, oh, what's my life going to look like when I don't really give a fuck about fitness anymore? And I'm like, okay, I'll always train and keep where I'm at, but I have no interest in gaining. I have no interest in dieting. You know what I mean? Just like staying where I'm at and focusing on other things. This gives me a little bit of a snapshot of what that will be like, because I love training, sure, but I do not plan on being in the gym for 10 to 12 hours a week for the rest of my days. There's other things in life that bring me a shit ton of joy. Some, believe it or not, even more than fitness and muscle gain in that whole process. So this allows me to sort of dip into that, right? So if I want to go out more, if I want to be more social, I can go and do that and have a really, really good time. Whereas if I'm training hard, I'm waking up and training in the morning, I can't be like, all right, guys, I got a hard stop at 11 o'clock because I got to wake up early to train. Now I'm like, no, I'll go out, right? Like I'll go out till 12 or 1 in the morning. Or if I did want to go out for a cocktail or two, like I can do that. By the way, I barely drink, barely. but it's cool to have the option, right? If I want to. Anyway, I hope that helps. Untitled underscore 2020. Haven't done any barbell squatting at all in a year. I was going to say me too, but that's not true. Doing Smith squats now, noticing my upper back is sore. That's very normal. So obviously, you think about it. When the bar is on your upper back, there is, of course, an isometric contraction of all of the upper back musculature to hold the bar there. That is very, very normal. So it could be that your grip is too close and you're having to clench your shoulder blades together too much, where you're contracting too much and you're getting too tight here at the top, where it might be compromising the quality of your squats. Although you didn't say that. I'm just surmising that if your upper back is consistently getting sore. Either that, or there's also a chance where when you ascend out of the squat, obviously I didn't see a video, you might be ducking forward a little bit and using your upper back in addition to your lower back. You might be using your upper back a little bit too much to propel the weight upwards. I don't know, but I would look into those things. So consider your grip position and also make sure that you're not using your upper back too much to get the weight upwards and you're keeping the weight in your quads. I hope that helps. Moving on. Michael Rosen asks, what do you do when you're sick and can't lift? Well, then I just accept that I'm sick and I don't lift. Sort of, but not really. It depends on how sick I am. So if it is just a head cold above the neck, a little sniffles, a little bit of a sore throat, small cough, I'll probably train. And it'll go just fine. If I feel lethargy, that oftentimes can be symptomatic of fever, temperature, I absolutely will not train. And if I'm just feeling it in general, or my body just feels a little bit more run down in general, if my body's feeling a little bit more run down, then I will not train. So I'm really big on meeting my body where I'm at. And I'm really big on that when I'm coaching other people, if these other people are already pretty adherent, right? If you're a regular Joe and Jane, if your sickness is above the neck, I would pretty much full stop, just be like, go. But if you're the kind of person that trains all of the time, that really, really loves the whole process, and it's harder for you to get out of the gym than it is to get in the gym, then when you listen to your body, if it says, not sure if I'm feeling it, I wouldn't discount those feelings because you're already the kind of person that trains a crap load in the gym. You already spend so much time there that you getting out of there for a little bit more would probably actually do you more good. Dropping some of that fatigue, you letting your body chill for a little bit more, fight those demons being this little sickness that you have, maybe even getting a bit more food, eating at maintenance, will probably end up being a fruitful experience that might even potentiate better quality training. So I find for people that are really adherent, that love training, them spending less time in the gym is usually better than them trying to force it. That's what I found. I hope that helps. JB Cavazos, why don't you like barbell overhead press? So it's not that I don't like it. Believe it or not, barbell overhead pressing is one of my favorite exercises in general. When I was younger, I did it a lot, and I would say I was pretty good at it. I think my best, I was in my early 20s, and with strict technique, I think I pressed 185 for sets of 5 at like 180 body weight. I feel like that's pretty good, like with good technique. I feel like that's pretty good. I could be wrong, but I think that's pretty good. I love that movement. I just found it's very fatiguing. Number one. And there's nothing that a barbell overhead press can do for a physique athlete that a chest press can't do, but it can do better because it gives me chest, right? So can you make the case that a barbell overhead press trains the clavicular head of the upper chest or of the chest? Yeah, you can, but does it do it as good as an incline press? The fuck? No, it does not, you know? So wherever I could do barbell overhead pressing for most people, unless they have a glaring front delt issue to their physique development and their upper chest is already great, I would just substitute in there more chest pressing because I'm getting triceps, I'm getting a lot of front delt still, but I'm getting chest, a lot of chest, Chesterfield. And I wouldn't be getting that with just a barbell press. That being said, I am considering barbell pressing for myself in my future high volume training block when I'm done with this sort of easier phase of training, because I like it and it's fun and life's for the living. James MCK08. Oh, wait, excuse me. We repeated on the Weather Channel. We have more questions. My bad. Okay. Cesaris Juris asked, 2 weeks without a gym, only push-ups, pull-ups, steps, and a lot of women. Advanced lifter. Worried about muscle loss or not? I'm just kidding. He didn't say a lot of women. He doesn't have a lot of women because he lifts weights. Don't you guys know how that works? If you lift a lot of weights, you don't have a lot of women. That's just, I don't make the rules. I'm kidding. There are exceptions. There's exceptions. Okay. Jokes aside, 2 weeks without a gym, push-ups, pull-ups, and steps, advanced lifter, worry about muscle loss or not? No, absolutely not. Do you think that you have been lifting weights for your whole freaking life to only not lift weights for 2 weeks and it goes away? No, it doesn't work like that. The body is very forgiving, especially if you have a decent training age. If you've barely lifted weights, right? You get a newbie and they train hard with you for 3 months, then they don't train for a couple of weeks. Yeah, muscle loss might be a thing. If you've been lifting weights for years and you barely train for 2 weeks, you are going to be pretty much as big as you ever were. Not to mention if you're already doing push-ups, pull-ups, active, and probably having a decent amount of protein. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you say it out loud, you're like, obviously, right? But I guess sometimes it takes someone to say it out loud to be like, yeah, what's 2 weeks, right? Like 2 weeks is nothing. And you're still going to be able to do calisthenics. So no, you have nothing to worry about. And guess what? Even if you didn't do those push-ups and pull-ups at all, and you just said, I'm chalking this up to the Lord, and I'm going to do no physical activity except steps, you probably drop a lot of fatigue, feel amazing, come back to training recharged, and within 2 weeks, be bigger than you ever were and mentally have so much clarity and excitement for the future training process that you'd be like, damn, I should do this more often. Trust me from experience, by the way. I've been there. Simsta Kilogram. How to overcome plateaus. I mean, you know, as I always say, and you followed me for a long time, Sim, you got to give me more context in your question to get a more contextual answer. You're asking something generally here, so I'm going to just do my best, right? Because this is a very general question. How to overcome plateaus checklist. Number 1, and no order. Number 1, have you been burning the candle at both ends? And you need to go buy new candles. AKA, have you been training hard for too long and haven't had any time off? When was the last time you took time off? A lot of times, fatigue masks fitness, and extended periods of training drop adherence hard, even for the best of us. So sometimes just taking some time off can fix that. Number 1. Number 2, and this is a rare one. Maybe you're not training enough. Overcome plateau, maybe you can handle more volume. Number 3, the opposite of that, the inverse, the opposite of that. Maybe you've been doing too much. You need to do less. Number 4, oh my God, this is going to be such a long list. Number 4, maybe this exercise that you've been doing is boring. You've been doing it for too long, too many weeks, too many months, too many years, centuries. You need to just switch to a different exercise variation or a different rep range or change the exercise order. These can be valid. Number 78, because I don't remember how many I've named so far. Nutritionally, where are you at? Have you been hitting your calories? Have you been dieting for a long time and the diet is catching up with you? So you're accruing more fatigue from that. Do you need to take a diet break, ergo more time off? Do you need to eat more food? Are you in a theoretical massing phase, but your weight has stalled and you maybe need to eat some more food so you can get more of that train chugging? Okay, these are all potential reasons or potential ways that you can overcome these plateaus. Give these a shot. There's not a chance in HE double hockey sticks that something that I named didn't resonate with you. And if it didn't, message me because I absolutely have more options, more suggestions, let's call them. Paul Dermody, PT. Paul Dermody. Paul Dermody sounds like the main character in a Disney movie that hasn't happened yet. Excuse me. Paul Dermody sounds like the father of the child who's the main character in the Disney movie who's being picked on. Like, excuse me, the child of Paul Dermody is here. That's what that reminds me of. I am out of bounds right now. Whatever, we're living. No question. I think you're very wise and self-aware. Deliver your message in a kind and fun way. Huge respect. Thanks, Paul Dermody. Thank you. I love that. Appreciate you. J. Troy 07. Do you find that people treat you differently when you are masked versus very lean? Well, the algorithm certainly does, but I'm sure you guys all knew that. When I post, and you know I don't do this a lot, but when I post stuff where I have no shirt on and I'm showing my abs or my back or something like that, you all can guess that those do better than when I'm clothed, when I'm garbed, when I have garments on. But as far as in real life, no. People treat me the same. Yeah, people treat me the same. I try, I mean, so Jeremy, as you know, like I'm a big fashion guy. Love dress, love shopping, all that stuff. I like to wear clothes that are form-fitting to me regardless, but I don't like to wear clothes that suffocate my body, where there leaves nothing to the imagination, right? So when I wear something, you'll see the silhouette of like, oh, he's fit, right? He looks good. But we don't know how good, right? We don't know the extent. We don't know really what's in the community chest. And that's very much intentional. So no, I'm treated the same. And also remember, my look, at least with clothes on, doesn't really change all that much. So at my heaviest, I'm around 200 pounds, 91 kilos. At my leanest, I'm around 180, maybe a little bit less. So that is 82 kilos, something like that. And I'm 5'11 and a half. So that change is not so drastic, right? If my body was vacillating 30, 35 pounds, that's one thing. But 20 pounds on a 6-foot frame, it's different, but it's not that different. Like I'm still wearing the same clothing and they still fit, decently the same. So to answer your question, no. Next question. Bells and Ropes, all the way from South Florida. I'm pretty sure you're from South Florida. We've talked before. I think you are. I can't gain weight for the next 8 months. Wedding outfits. How would you approach training while eating at maintenance, but still wanting to make strength gains? Maintenance or cutting? Good question. I feel as though I answered this question by sort of giving you all some insight into what I'm currently doing, but I can dive into this a little bit more. If I'm not looking to gain weight, then by definition, I need to eat at maintenance. And if I'm looking to make strength gains, by definition, I'm also pretty much looking to eat at maintenance, because when you're in a strength phase, you're not really there to put on muscle. So there's no reason to eat in a calorie surplus. So if I was you, and I know that you love training. So if I was to tell you to train at maintenance volumes for 8 months, you probably would have a lot of trouble adhering to that, because training is a core part of your life and I probably identify with that. So to just go from training 5 or 6 days a week hard to 3 days a week not hard. Maggie, you got a running back. He fast. He makes fast people look not fast. Then it would be problematic for you. So what I would say is go train 4 days a week, train every muscle group twice a week, start at your maintenance volume and go halfway to your minimum, your MAV, your maximum adaptive volume. So let's put pen and paper on it. Easy example, the chest. Let's say the least amount of volume that you need to elicit change muscle growth in your chest is 8 sets a week. And the most that you can recover from, theoretically, is 18 sets a week. That's a fair bit. That's a fair bit either which way. So if I was you, I would eat at maintenance. I would start at 8 sets a week. And maybe I would go from 8 sets a week to around 12 or 13. Some might call this gaintaining. I don't call it that. I call this maintenance training for your brain. Because most of us, myself included, have a lot of trouble doing extended, true maintenance training. True maintenance volume training, if you've never done it, is really minuscule compared to your normal training experience. Most people's maintenance volumes for body parts are anywhere from 4 to 8 sets a week, with 8 sets being actually quite a bit. But it's more so like 4 to 6 sets a week. You ever taken a real fitness person who lifts weights 5 or 6 days a week for 1 to 2 hours at a time and said, yeah, go train at your maintenance volume for 2 months? They'll do it for 2.5 weeks. And then they'll be like, I don't know who I am. Like, why do I even, I'm going to go be an accountant. Like, what am I even doing with this fitness stuff? Just increasing the volume a little bit more while eating at maintenance won't give you significant muscle growth, but you'll still get pumps, you'll still get soreness, you'll still get disruption. You won't be in the gym as much, and you'll still put on probably a little bit of muscle. You'll enjoy the heck out of it for sure. And you'll likely set yourself up for more muscle growth once you start massing and you add food back in there. So that's what I would do. And I think that it'll be a very fun time. And I would be more aggressive with exercise variation duration. So instead of keeping the same movements in, for months and months at a time, like you'd normally do in a typical massing phase or in a typical cutting phase, I wouldn't do that. I would be more bullish with the rate with which you change exercises, because that way you're allowed to explore more exercise variations. It will be fun. Of course, you'll get pump, soreness, and disruption from zero, because when you're doing a new exercise, you barely need any volume. And you'll be able to experiment with new variations that you can really, really run hard when it comes to dedicated cutting phases and dedicated massing phases. So give that a shot, Mr. Bells and Ropes, Mr. S&M. And if you have any other questions, of course, hit me in the MD, the DM, no doctorate. These are all the questions that I've gathered here. So let me get in here in my Instagram chat and see what is going on. Oh God. All right. We are active. There's been a lot happening. Okay. Oh, this is your name? CMY_fuck you. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Fuck me. Do shoulder, I'm going to read it just as you wrote it. Do shoulder also need stretch to grow better? Because there's less study on stretch hypertrophy on shoulders. I am unsure if there is a study on stretch-mediated hypertrophy for every muscle group. I find it hard to believe that there would be. But we look at a preponderance of studies on the topic of stretch-mediated hypertrophy, and we extrapolate, or we then use that data to action item all the other body parts, at least initially. So I think that the shoulders can absolutely benefit from putting them on as much stretch as possible. I can report that anecdotally for myself, as well as helping quite a bit of people with their own shoulder training, both in person and online, to grow their shoulders. And we implement a lot more stretch specific work. So mostly that's in the form of cable lateral variations, oftentimes with a cuff, where you can have your arm not stopping at your body, but actually going across your body, because I want to rock your body. And I think that it is a fantastic thing to do. And fuck you, I think you should try it. You don't have to admit you want to play. Oh, no. Don't tell me. Your name is DeRuiz Cock? No chance. Hello, why are you so sexy? I've asked myself that every morning. Still haven't found the answer. Hey, Shimmy, can you help me for shoulder gains with training every part? Funny. It's a shoulder day, guys. It's a shoulder day. So, yes, I can. Spend most of your time training lateral delts. Let me put this shit down. Hold on. Spend most of your time training lateral delts, medial delts, doing lateral raise and upright rowing variations. And make sure that you're doing these variations. I'm looking at both screens. Make sure that you're doing these variations with the opportunity to stretch said muscle group as much as you can. That can come in the form of dumbbells, or it can come in the form of cables or machines. You will find that to be most fruitful when employing the use of cables. So cable lateral raise variations, where you cross in the front, where you cross in the back. Maybe you can do them laying down. You can do them unilaterally. You can do them only biasing the lengthened portion of the repetition. So instead of going all the way up, you can cross here and only stop here and come back down. Those are absolutely fantastic variations, and make sure that you train them in a cacophony a symphony, a myriad of rep ranges, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 20 to 30, shorter rest periods, long rest periods, supersets, indoor pool, outdoor pool. That's what I would do. And make sure that you're training them multiple times a week. So whatever your frequency is right now, add a day, start at low volumes and go from there, because the shoulders do seem to be able to respond to quite a bit of volume and quite a bit of frequency. So shoulder day, asinine. Shoulders twice a week, better. Shoulders 3 times a week, heck yes. Shoulders 4 times a week, I see it. 5 times a week, I think adherence is going to be problematic. For me and for many other people, I think the sweet spot for shoulder growth, 3 to 4 times a week. Give that a shot. For rear delts, if you find that your rear delts are an issue, then of course, rear delt flies, probably on a machine or a cable. I'm not a big fan of the dumbbells because it doesn't allow such a stretch opportunity. If you do them with cables, make sure that you cross here. Again, moderate to higher rep ranges, because the rear delts are getting collaterally or residually trained with back training already, right? Full range of motion stuff. And that being said, if your rear delts are laggards, the first thing I would do is look at the quality of your technique with your back training. Are you training through a full range of motion for you? Ergo, are you really protracting these shoulder blades, right? Are you really rounding here and then pulling back in majority of your horizontal rowing movements? And your vertical pulling movements, are you extending all the way up to where you're almost flexing the long head of the tricep and then pulling the weight down? This is very important. And then for the front delts, if your front delts, you deem them based on your needs analysis to actually be real laggards, then of course, front raise variations with maybe a cable. You could do them with dumbbells. You can do them with a barbell. Again, I think that a stretch is a really good idea. So cable would be a really good idea. Or you can do maybe an incline dumbbell front raise. So you're putting the delts on a little bit more of a stretch. Those would be my preferences. Again, in moderate and higher rep ranges, 10 to 15, 15 to 20 would be my guess. I hope that helps. That was a lot of information. Igor, great insight for the step count. Thanks. You are welcome. As always, mon frère. That means my brother in French. Scam. Bye-bye. IzzyVargas.beach. Hi, Shimmy. Do you ever do movements like trap bar deadlifts? Movements that allow for huge weights to be moved. Do you think they have some value for beginners to build a strength base? I think you really just have to ask yourself, what's the point? You know, I know that sounds so silly, but anytime you're crafting a training program for someone, whether you're putting them through an in-person training session, you're online coaching them, or you're just writing them a program, or you're writing your own program, whenever you pick an exercise, a rep range, an organization of training protocol, you always have to say, what's the fucking point? Why am I doing this, right? So trap bar deadlift, let's dig into this. Conventional trap bar deadlifts. Can you load a lot of weight? Yes. What do they train? Truly. I'm not sure. Traps? Kind of. Upper mid back? Yeah. Quads? Kind of. Forearms? Yeah. Core? Yeah. Does it do a really good job of training any of those things? No, it does not. So just putting your body under load for the sake of load, I mean, I'm not sold. For what? There's other exercises where I can specifically train the muscle groups that I want to train efficiently. So I don't ever see a trap bar deadlift falling into that category. Now, if you do them on a deficit, right, with smaller plates, if you stand on a big block, do you get a bit more range? Yeah. Do you get a bit more knee flexion so your quads theoretically get trained a bit more? Yeah. Do you get more spinal flexion depending on how you do it so your spine gets more trained? Yeah. But again, not in any meaningful way. And it is so fatiguing to accomplish that same theorized muscle growth stimulus that I could probably get the same thing with a set of leg press. Like your trap bar deadlift done with perfect technique for four or five sets for the quads is what I could probably accomplish with one set of leg press. I mean, riddle me that, right? As an example. And I think that this is a very common misconception. And I get it. I get where it's coming from, is that first principles are like when you just hear it, if you don't really understand things, you're like, oh yeah, of course. If I put beginners under load and it's a compound movement and they can move heavy loads, If it's for adherence purposes because you want to make the gym fun for them, that's real. Yes, then program it. That's absolutely real because it's easy to learn. A lot of muscle groups can be trained. It's kind of efficient when you're not that strong, and it's fun, right? That's important. But once we've gotten past fun and enjoying the gym as being the main reason for getting someone in there, and they're like, no, I'm serious, I want to gain muscle. There's many, many, many ways to cut down that tree that are better than that. That's what I'd say. I hope that helps. Okay. Thank you for all the info you put out on IG. You're welcome. Sanju, hello. Jay, Shimmy, chicken breast or chicken thighs? Bruh, thighs. Thighs. Absolutely thighs. I used to be a breast man. I'm not really a breast guy anymore. Now I'm a thighs and rump guy in more ways than one. But definitely thighs. Drea, dead as usual. Okay. Caesaris Juris, you are correct. Never had any women, and it looks like I won't have it anytime soon. I called it. Gym helps a little if you have anxiety, kicks in. Yeah, it does. That's true. Always need new candles, for sure. So right now I have a Bath & Body Works Paris Cafe, which is their coffee candle. And I find that's one of their strongest candles. And I love the smell of coffee in my house. So I always buy that candle. It's like a basic B one because they've always have that one. But I find Bath & Body Works it's such a toss-up. You know, most of their candles, they smell amazing. Even like the 3 wicks, once you light them, I'm sorry. Once you light the 3 wick, the smell doesn't permeate. It's barely there. It's barely noticeable. But that Paris Cafe one is strong. So Bath & Body Works, Paris Cafe. I'm here for it. That's what I have lit as we speak. Okay. Got any more? Julio Reyes Surf. Hi, Shimmy. Do you ever do movements like trap bar deadlifts? Okay, I answered that already. Respect that you answered it twice. Okay, Mr. Diligence. Who else we got? Dej Nawino. Tell me you're Jamaican. Tell me you're, hey man, Dej Nawino. Hey man. All type of fuckery. You should have fucking 1,000 viewers right now. You're awesome. Bro, talk that shit. Or sis, talk that shit. Okay? I agree. I'm doing the Lord's work out here. But one day people will see. What did Kevin say? They see. Lucian, hi there. Hi back. Lucian, is this a Q&A? You tell me. Wait. Are you Jamaican? Bro, please tell me you're Jamaican. So fun fact, I'm 1/17th Jamaican. Fun fact. On my mother's, daddy's, father's Vibes Cartel side, I'm Jamaican. In my head, I am because dance hall is one of my favorite things to dance. Yes, maybe I'll post some videos of that at some point. You guys will really lose your shit. Dance hall is my favorite music. Jamaican food is one of my favorite foods. Believe it or not, the meal that I just had, I had a spicy beef Jamaican patty, along with other things. But I did have that just now. 14. Nepal. Hi from India. Hello. I love your food. I love it. It's one of my favorite foods too. Cesara says, hi, sweetheart, in my YouTube chat. What's up, man? So those were all the questions that I have. If you have any more, fucking ask them, okay? Because I'm here. I'm here to help. I'm gassed up. I don't have any more questions right now. You have 1 or 2 minutes, and then I will be leaving. So if you have any questions, you can ask them here. I'm going to get a drink. Hold on. Send your questions. All right, I'm back. So if you all don't know, I haven't posted about this in a long time. Everyone, including myself, wants to talk about diet soda. What's the best diet soda? Oh my God. What y'all know about this right here? Okay. This, my people, is drugs for me. This right here, 0 sugar Gold Peak sweet tea with a little bit of lemon juice sprinkled in here. I got this last night. I just want you to know that. This is 1.8 quarts, 1.7 liters, 59 fluid ounces, okay? I drank almost all of this already, and I got it yesterday night. Crack drugs. It is so good. All right. I don't see any more questions. So I hope that you enjoyed. We'll do this again soon. I am sure of it. Have fun. Love your loved ones. And I will speak to you later. Have a Nagila. That goes for you as well.